Hey there, survivors. Cougar here, checking out this incredibly immersive new medieval city builder called Manor Lords. It's really kind of astonishing because you can zoom all the way in to where you're basically in first person view. You can even walk around the town as the Manor Lord in first as a third person perspective. I'm going to go to that right now, but this is still a work in development. This is early access, and this part of the game is still in development. So I'm not going to spend too much time in third person mode here with as the Manor Lord. Instead, let's just get out of here and let me just show you around this town that I've started setting up, but I've kind of borked this first settlement here by ignoring the advice that they give you at the very start of the game, which is to specialize your settlement either as a food producing settlement or a goods producing settlement. I tried to do a little bit of both, and this settlement is kind of screwed because they're about to starve to death. But let me just show you around here first. Let's back out we'll start outside the town. Hold on. Outside the town at the logging camp here. To get right down in there and watch the logging camp worker at work. In fact, I've taken the logging camp worker off his work right now because he was needed elsewhere. But isn't this beautiful that you can go all the way in like this and it looks so beautiful and realistic. It's just astonishing. And I've played a lot of city builders. I don't record them much because I don't find that I think first person stuff is more interesting to watch. But they always try to create a connection between you and the settlers, and this just does it better than any game I've ever played. So here's our sheep farm. We've got 3 sheep right now, and we've got a shepherd watching over them, and we brought them in via trading at the livestock hut, which is here. And I've got nobody working at the livestock hut right now because we don't need it. Here's the tannery. There's no one working at it right now, but this is where they turn our raw hides into leather. And then over here, we've got a foundry type thing. Well, they call it the bloomery, where we turn iron ore into metal ingots, and then the metal ingots get sent across the street to the smithy, and then they're turned into tools, which we can then sell. So you see, I've set up these kind of businessy type things here just to kind of see what they did. And because I've got an iron mine outside of town, a rich iron mine outside of town, I wanted to take advantage of that, so I set it up, but I really shouldn't have. I should have stuck with basic food producing stuff here. And speaking of food producing, so here we've got a residence. This is called a burgage plot, and you can extend the burgage plots for them to do things other than just live here. Like this person's raising chickens in their backyard and providing the market with eggs. This person is making cabbage or vegetables in the backyard, and they're all sending it over here to the marketplace where the stuff is being sold along with firewood, as she just said. Got a couple more burgage plots over here, and then my pride and joy, the stables, but that's not my pride and joy. My pride and joy is this beautiful tier 2 church, which I have constructed here. I've gone to great lengths to upgrade this church and make it into a tier 2, and that is now providing a huge influence boost, no, not influence boost, but approval boost to my town, which is making a lot of people want to settle here, which is actually kind of where I went wrong in this first thing. I overdid it in terms of bringing people in. I now have more settlers than I can feed, which is causing problems. Here's a clay pit. No one working there right now because I don't have enough families to put on all the jobs. And here's the clay furnace where I was making roof tiles for sale. Again, that's a commercial venture that I should not have embarked on in this town. We should have stuck with the food producing stuff. We'll walk along this back path here, and I'll take you over to show you my stage 1 manor. So this is where the Manor Lord lives, and it's just a little shack right now, but we will be upgrading that as we go along. And then more burgage plots here. One person's raising goats, I believe. Oh no, not over here. So we've got 2 vegetable plots and a chicken plot raising food for this burgeoning little settlement here. Here's our windmill, which is not operating right now because we need to wait for a harvest for that. I've got some growing of wheat here. This field is laying fallow for a season to try to replenish the nutrients. This one is actually growing wheat, and the farmers live in a farmhouse, which you build separate from the farm plot, and then you install a family in here, and they take care of the farming. They actually share all the responsibility. All the farming families living in farmhouses share farming responsibility throughout the village. So you see, it looks like we've got two different families working in this wheat field right here, getting the wheat sown, getting the ground tilled and the wheat sown. And if I click, we've also got a trading post here. Very important, but again, this is the kind of thing that I should really have done a separate town for the trading. You do want a trading post in all your towns, because I would imagine, because you need to trade for the goods that you're not producing. Like if this was just a farming village, then we'd be trading for the stuff that we need that we're not producing here. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned many times, I've screwed this up, and we're now producing almost everything we need except the food to feed our settlers. What else can I show you? Let me just click. I'm going to click on one of the burgage plots here to show you one other thing. If you notice down here at the bottom, the fine print down here, it says that under armaments, we've got 2 spears and 2 shields attached to this house. They're inside the house right now. And that's because the men of the village are our militia. And when they need to fight off bandits or raiders, we will rally them, and they will run to their huts and grab their spear and shield and come out and form a militia, which we will then use to defend the town. Now, I'm trying to figure out what to do next, because what I'm thinking of doing is, as I said, this town is kind of messed up. I don't want to start a new town just for the sake of starting a new town and abandon this one. But what we can do is we can actually build a group of settlers, and I should have enough stuff to actually do that. I'll click on administration, and here's the construction. 250 of my personal treasury will be spent to create some settlers. And to do that, hold on. So I've claimed these 2 territories to the north of me. See, I can zoom all the way out to map view, and it shows that I've claimed these 2 territories, but I don't actually have anybody settled there or any armies defending them. Here's my opponent over here. He's already claimed 3 territories as well, out of 4 actually. So he's ahead of me in terms of claiming the territories, but I'm not in a position to kind of fight him for any of them yet. But we do have this where we could make a group of settlers in another territory. And I think it's time to do that. And we'll start a new settlement in this new territory, if I have enough goods to make that happen. So what it's going to cost to do that is 20 bread. So my already starving villagers back at the first village are going to be even more starving, because I'm taking all their bread, and some logs and some stone and some tools. And this will give us 5 families of settlers with which to start a new settlement in a new region. So to begin with, in this new region, we will take a look at just building them some houses and definitely a woodcutting camp to get some woodcutting going on, right? So that would be under, give me a minute, because I'm still learning all this. I've only played about 9 hours of this, so I'm still learning stuff. We need the woodcutter's lodge. Oh, no, wait, we need the logging camp first, logging camp. And we'll put that over here so that it starts to clear out some of the trees here. I will show you quickly, we do have an overlay that we can look at. Oops, sorry, I had it up a second ago. Shows us where the underground water is, so we'll be able to put a well near this initial settlement here. And then as far as growing stuff, this region is not very fertile. So what I really should have done was started with this nice fertile region as my farming community, and then set up my goods producing community over here, which I didn't do, so now we're kind of screwed. But let's see if we can salvage this instead of just starting over, right? So let's start with a logging camp here to start clearing things out. That is going to uproot 1 tree, uproot 2 trees for production. So we'll be using the supplies that we brought with us, with our settlers. Oops, I paused it accidentally, sorry. We'll be bringing the supplies that we brought. We'll go to building this first logging camp, and then we'll be turning out our own supplies. But we also need to get some huts down for these people to live in. You know, the city building is relatively straightforward, and you've kind of seen it before in terms of, huts and then water and food and other supplies that you need. But this game is different in that you really get attached to these people down here, because you can get right down in here with them and watch them at work and watch. It doesn't sound groundbreaking. We've seen this kind of stuff in a lot of other city builders, but there's something about being able to get right down here with them and watch them work and stuff that really sucks you into their lives and makes you care about them and keeping them healthy and keeping them alive. Certainly in military situations, you really don't want to lose a single man when you send them out to fight off the raiders or the bandits, because they're needed back here at work to do the work that we need to grow this settlement. So anyway, we've got the woodcutters lodge being built. Next, let's start on some homes. So residential, burgage plot, and I am going to we'll make these burgage plots oversized so that they can do some stuff. Interesting way of putting these down. You don't just plop them down. You sketch out a framework for where the plot is going to be. And the larger you make it, the more you can do it. So this is about the size that we would need for not only 2 homes, but for 2 backyards that are going to be doing stuff. So they'll either be, doing chickens back here, or goats, or vegetables, or later on when you upgrade to a tier 2, you get stuff like artisans, huts, and other things. Okay, great. The logging camp has been finished. We need to assign one of our families, or 2 or 3, to start chopping down the logs. And then the unemployed families, of which there are 4. If you look in the upper left-hand corner here, unassigned families 4, assigned families 1. So we started with 5, and then that's what the other 4 are doing. The other 4 unassigned families will get to work constructing the burgage homes. And we're going to need more burgage homes, but we may have to speed up time a little bit to start bringing in. We only brought a limited number of supplies with us. We're going to have to rely on that dude's hard at work chopping down trees. We just felled a tree. Now the tree just doesn't magically pop into our storage or our inventory. He has to hack the limbs off it so that we can drag it behind an ox. So that's what he's doing back in there. Now he's hacking the limbs off it. Good job, buddy. And that is Fritz. Good job, Fritz. He's debranching a tree. Nice work, Fritz. And we got some homes coming up over here. We're going to need more than that. That's 2. We need 5 total to make sure everyone's not homeless before winter comes. It's only March, so we got plenty of time to do this. Unfortunately, they plopped our supplies down right in the middle of where I would like to build my next bunch of homes, so that's not good. And our hitching post, where we tie up the oxen at night. Or when it's not being used.
Summer's coming soon.
Yes, summer is coming soon. So one of the unassigned families is using the ox that we brought with us to drag over the stuff, the resources that we'll need. Let's see about building a couple more. Can I get a road in here between these 2? No. Okay, so let's start with a road in between these 2, just so we don't bunch everything together and limit access to any resources that might be back in here. Although there shouldn't be any, because we're right at the corner of this region here. So we might need to get at those trees at some point, though. And let's build a couple more burgage plots. I'm going to make sure that these guys can do all the things that we need them to do in terms of the extra resources. We may have to fell a couple of trees if I do it this way. Let's start over. I'd prefer not to waste any of these trees. So if I can... No, that looks like that's going to overlap too. So maybe this is just going to be... Well, that might be 2... We might be able to get 2 homes in here. Yep, okay. Oh, we don't have enough wood yet to make 2 homes. So let's just give it some time. We can speed up time, but that's not, that's not as immersive, speeding up time. We'll just watch these guys. And I'm reluctant to even go back and check on my other settlement at this point because I know things are not good there. Not good, probably. They've got enough food for now. They've got 20 bread. They've got no meat, no vegetables, no berries, no eggs, no apples, and no honey. Even though I have foragers out looking for all that stuff. All right, so let's go back to the other settlement for a minute. You can hit T to quickly cycle between your settlements. But so over here we've got a forager's hut gathering the berries, and I've chosen a perk that doubles the amount of berries down here in the berry patch. So we should have enough berries coming in. I may need to put some more people on the forager's hut here to get them coming in faster because we've got one guy. Well, here's the thing. When you assign someone to a task, you're not assigning one person. You're assigning an entire family. So we've probably got maybe 2 or 3 members of the family, one person out doing the actual foraging. See, here comes a dude with a basket to come pick up some berries and bring them to the marketplace. So that's one member of the family. He's going to take them back to the marketplace and put them at the stall. We may have another member of the family back there working at the stall selling the berries. And then another member of the family out here in the forest gathering the berries. Doesn't it look amazing? So many games have tried to achieve this level of zoom-in realism, but this is off the charts in terms of immersiveness. Now we've got a little bit of a problem with the rain here because we have no storage set up at our new settlement. Let's go check out the new settlement again. T to get me to the other settlement. There's one to that settlement, and then take you to the region. So we've got another region where we have no settlement at all happening. The problem here is we've got no storehouse, so all these supplies sitting out here are getting rained on, which could cause some problems. We should probably get a storehouse set up before we build any more houses. So that'll be here, and a granary, no storehouse. All right, we'll do a storehouse here right next to our initial camp. We do have the construction materials that we need to make that happen. Hopefully, well, we certainly do. The problem is, yeah, we're in the process of dragging the logs out of the forest at this point. So they may not be showing up, but we do have them. And we're certainly not going to get this storehouse built before the rain stops. Well, maybe not, although we've got a lot of unassigned families who are actually doing the construction work here. So this may happen relatively quickly. But we'll also need a granary, though, to keep the food stuff safe. So the storehouse will store stuff like wood and rocks and so on. But we'll also need a granary to keep the grain safe from getting wet, getting rained on. I doubt we have enough. See, that's going to take 2 logs and 10. Yeah, it looks like we might have enough to make that happen. All right, so since the storehouse is coming along quickly, let's also get a granary set up right next to it. Hard at work, my new settlers. I could speed up time, but it's so much less immersive seeing them zip around at double speed. I would rather just sit here quietly and watch them at work. Get to know them. That's Conrad, Albrecht, Kuntz, and Jorg, and Anna, and Linhart. And they've got my new storehouse set up. Now we just need to assign someone to work there to bring all the stuff indoors out of the rain. But I have a feeling the rain is letting up. So that's not super urgent. Yeah, it stopped raining. Look at it with the little puddles in the road. Oh, this just amazing. And when it starts to rain, you know, it's so cool because it starts as a few droplets coming down. Like you'll be out there and you're like, oh, I see some weather rolling in, and a couple of droplets come down, and then you're like, oh, here it comes, and then the rain starts. Great. So they're actually bringing stuff to the storehouse without anyone being assigned, just because this is a new camp and we don't really. They know what needs to be done without me telling them. Oh no, they're actually bringing stones over to the new construction of the granary. So let's just get the granary set up. I'm not in a hurry to assign anyone to the storehouse just yet. How about a couple? Let's see if we have enough wood to get a couple of more houses down. Residential, burgage plot level 1. So across the street here, that looks like room enough for 2. Maybe that. And okay, we do have enough for 2, but we just don't have the logs yet. I could assign another family to help out with the logs. I may do that as soon as the granary gets built. You're doing a good job on this granary, guys. Fantastic. Look at that nice thick foundation. Keep everything nice and dry. Up off the ground. Super. Oh, why'd they stop? They're suddenly on strike. I think it's the end of the day. Nope, they're still over. Our ox clumping along next to us, getting more logs. Oh, fantastic. And then when you go into battle, it's very reminiscent of Total War kind of stuff, where you're controlling stuff in real time, but you can pause it to give orders. It's great. It's very flexible and fun. And I've been doing well with the battles, just because I go out overpowered, because I don't want any of my people to die if I can avoid it, to die in battle. So I try to outnumber them at least 2 to 1, which isn't hard with raider camps once you get, a few people in your city. All right, they're almost done. Great. The granary is finished. Now we can assign. Let's start getting people assigned to tasks. Let's get you assigned to the granary. Start bringing that grain in. You assigned to the storehouse. Make sure everything's stored. And another family assigned to the logging camp. There's now only one family unassigned, which means one family doing construction. So construction will be quite a bit slower now until I take one of the families off the... Okay, so Anna has been assigned to the granary. She's bringing over the food supplies so they don't get wet. Great. And then these guys are helping out with the storehouse, so they'll be bringing everything into the storehouse so it doesn't get wet and get ruined.
Summer's coming soon, and soon the beating sun.
Okay, back in... Oh no, this is Iconau, so we don't have a marketplace set up yet, which is not the end of the world. We're not really going to be... Well, I mean, you need a marketplace as a central hub for people to come to get their firewood and their food and stuff. So we should get a marketplace set up soon. But to be honest, I'm more concerned about the housing situation. We still have 3 homeless families, and we're not bringing in... Yes, more market area. So we don't have a market area yet. So people are complaining. But we need to get more housing done first before we start worrying about a marketplace. Now that we've got 2 families on the logging camp, we should be bringing those logs into the storage area a bit quicker now. Which means, let's see, we're probably going to need, what do we need for 1 burgage plot is 2 logs. So we need 4 total. We have 6 timber ready to go. So we should be able to build 2 new burgage plots now. That should be big enough for 2. With backyards to do some, not quite, a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, with room in the back for chickens or goats or vegetables. Yeah, I think those backyard plots are really important when you first start out. Speaking of which, we are set up now. We will need to spend regional wealth, and this took me a little while to figure out. You've got 2 groups of money up here. You've got regional wealth and you've got the treasury. So treasury is my personal money that I use to hire mercenaries and stuff if I need them, or create new groups of settlers to send out to other regions. The regional wealth is what can be spent on stuff like building a chicken coop in the backyard. Construct a backyard extension. Let's start with vegetables. In fact, I think we're going to do 2 vegetable gardens on this side. Yeah, 2 vegetable gardens on this side, and then we'll have a chicken coop, maybe 2 chicken coops over here, because these people are not going to be the ones that are growing all the food, so they're going to need some kind of something to eat until we get the trading post set up and start importing food from elsewhere. So in addition to the 20 loaves of bread that came with this group of settlers, we're also going to need some vegetables and some eggs to round out their diet, keep them happy, so they're not just surviving on bread and water. The sounds are great, the visuals are amazing, and just the sense of town life. You know, how much they rely on the oxen.
Should absolutely be placed over there.
Oh, okay. Someone's getting a little mad at a family member who's doing it wrong. You know, buying a new oxen shouldn't feel like a huge reason to celebrate, a big festival day for the town, but it does. You know, when you finally get to a point where you can afford not only to buy another oxen, but to have another family unassigned to a task so that they can work the oxen, it just feels like a major accomplishment, which is great. The logging camp has an unlimited range. You can change that in the settings for the logging camp, but they will just keep getting wider, and the circle around it will keep getting wider and wider. Actually, we don't want it to get too wide because there's a berry deposit over here and a rich wild animals deposit. So we got twice as many wild animals here. We can set up a hunting camp and have people hunting for them. So that'll be another source of food, the berries as well. But let's get everybody housed before we start setting up any of that stuff. You can see this construction's taking quite a bit longer now because we have only 1 family assigned to it. Although if we check out the supply dump, okay, everything's been cleared out of the 2 supply dumps. The storehouse and the granary people have done their work, so I'm going to unassign them from the storehouse and the granary for now. And they will head over and start helping with the burgage plot construction. We need 1 more house after these 2 are built. We'll need 1 more to get everybody housed.
Have you marked the joist for the rafters already?
Yes, I've marked the joist for the rafters already. Thank you for checking, though. That's important.
You need to hoist this timber to the gable.
Yes, hoist the timber to the gable, please. Get it right up there on the gable. Oh man, this game is so I can just zoom in and watch my people go about their days for hours, it seems like, just checking in on everybody. Oh, how's the farming family doing? How's the tanning hut doing? I'll just point out, you know, if you're here looking for tips or something, all I can show you is what not to do. And one of the things I will show you not to do is these little farming plots. I mean, it works in the sense that I can rotate them, right? So this field is lying fallow while it recharges its nutrients, and then this one is going to do wheat and then 2 seasons of fallow to recharge the nutrients, and then this guy will do wheat and this guy probably won't need 2 seasons of fallow. We can actually have him getting wheat in the second year as well, because the second season, because it's very rich soil over here in this little, you see how we got a little depression in the ground here, so it's nice and wet and rich in the soil, which was why I had the loggers over here trying to, where's my logging hut over here? Yeah, I moved the logging camp over here in hopes of clearing all this out, because this is very farmable land over here. And I actually had firewood. That's right. We need firewood in the new settlement. I had the firewood chopping camp, which is here. I had them over there trying to clear out the land around the farm so that we could do more farming over there. You'll just split the log. Good job. But yeah, so these small fields, I mean, that's one way to do it. It may not be the best way to do it, although it does allow me to rotate the crops, as I was saying. It's not just wheat that you can grow. There's also rye, flax, and barley. I haven't gotten anywhere near yet the flax, the barley, or the rye yet, just because I'm just struggling to feed these people so much. This wheat looks like it's almost ready for harvest. Let's check in here. Yeah, this wheat is at 74% growth, so it's getting there. The ground here is not that fertile though, so it's not growing very, very quickly. Let's check back in on the new settlement, because you guys are going to need some firewood. We should get that down right away before we run out, because we're down to 17 firewood here, and really cannot let them totally run out. But good news, our two new homes are built, and we can assign their backyard work to be, what did I say, chickens? Chickens. And more chickens. Goats don't provide, all they provide is hides. So no milk or anything, or cheese. So we're not interested in that. We don't really need the hides for anything at this point, and if we need them, we can always get them from the other settlement once we get a trading post set up. Because we got plenty of hides over there. All right, so she'll get to work building the chicken coops back here. Is that Anna? No, Christina. Okay, do that, Christina. And while that's being done, we really need to get somebody cutting firewood for us. So I'm going to zoom way out to see where do we need to clear out some space. I think I'll put him over here, so he'll clear out these trees back in here and give us more room to build. So construction, and this would be no, not mining. It would be one of these, and it would be the woodcutter's lodge for firewood. Great. All right, this perfect actually, right there. He doesn't clear out trees nearly as quickly as the loggers camp. Loggers camp, you can see they're already putting quite a dent in the forest back here. And they'll just keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And we'll need all that room to grow, so that's good. And again, we've now got 3 unassigned families, which means they'll be getting this construction done lickety-split. A little bit more lickety there, folks. Come on. Get working. You're just leveling the foundation for now. Then they'll start dragging over the wood. In fact, this person's probably, yeah, transporting timber over to the new woodcutters camp. Ah! So, only one person without a home right now. So as soon as this woodcutter camp is up and running, woodcutter's lodge, we'll get another house down. I mean, we could lay down the foundation for it right now, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The sky's looking a bit cloudy here. We may get more rain. Yeah, it's only April, so I'm not worried about it getting cold, but it does look a little bit overcast. Rain's fine, as long as we get everything under cover. It's good. Oh, good. Our chickens are now up and running-ish. There's coops. I guess this would be the coop. What would these be? Those are also coops? Maybe that's where they sleep at night, and then they come up here to roost and lay their eggs. I don't know. I've never raised chickens. I don't really know how it works. But everything's very detailed and interesting like that. A lot of it just, you can tell, yeah, this is exactly what it would look like. And sound like timber! check in on our workers over here.
It's a veritable masterpiece of carpentry.
A veritable masterpiece of carpentry. Yes, it is. For a woodcutter's hut.
Just give me a hammer and something needs to not move. I'll put it in place.
Okay, so we're going to have to assign a family to woodcutting, or we're going to run out of firewood.
Just give me a hammer and something
Great.
needs to not
It's
move.
up and running. Woodcutter's Lodge. Nice. You guys take a minute. Yeah, celebrate your beautiful craftsmanship. All right. And now, Kunrad, you may be the family assigned here. Who knows?
If I have to spend another winter in Alpha Farm, I like
Oh, somebody's complaining about being homeless. Let's get that final burgage plot built. You, my friend, will not have to spend another winter outside. Before we build the plot, let's build a road here. I like to, get the roads in early so that I don't cut myself off from any important resources by building a wall of buildings. Yes, burgage plot, level 1. Let's start there, run it up here. We really only need 1, but that's probably not going to be enough. Let's see about this. Nope, too small. This. Okay, just big enough. That's actually a tiny bit too big. Yeah, okay, that'll work. That's even better. Yeah, this guy's not going to have a backyard. I guess we should give him a backyard. Sorry, so that he can do stuff too. Okay. That's done. And it looks like we have enough resources to make that happen too. The construction will be a bit slower now that we've got a family working on cutting the firewood. There'll only be 2 unassigned families doing the construction. Have to forgive me if I just... I hope it's not too terribly boring for the viewers to just sit here and look at this with me, but I just find it astonishingly immersive. Amazing. I actually care about them, and I hope this settlement is a success. Yes, everyone, woodcutters want a market area as well. That's fine. We'll get you a market area soon enough. We've got more pressing needs. Maybe that'll be next. I guess that'll be next, a market area. But let's wait until this is built so that we have a better idea of our resource levels and so on before we start building stuff. In the meantime, I suppose we should check back in on our other settlement, the one that I've just left to starve to death. Yeah, they're down to almost no food. They've got 2 vegetables, 1 berries, no bread, gulp, and 1 egg. We are going to, basically they're going to starve this winter. And people may leave the city, which actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because, as I mentioned, we grew too quickly. I grew too quickly. I built too many homes. And I knew while I was doing it, I said, man, these are more mouths to feed. Yes, they're more workers, but they're more mouths to feed as well. And I was building all these things that don't feed the mouths, like a church and a tanning hut and the blacksmith and the forge and the stables and all these things. None of these things produce food. So none of these buildings that we're looking at right now produce food, including the sheep. The sheep only produce wool. So, this was a huge mistake over here. Yeah, I could tear it all down or just take the people off it, but I'm viewing it as a learning, as a lesson in what not to do. And we're just going to let them starve to death and die out. God forgive me. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're hungry.
It's heavier than it looks.
Poor our little sheep herd. Barbara, herding sheep. I'm sorry. Let's go pray for your bellies at the church. With the graveyard. Now this graveyard started empty And now,
Gave the
yes,
old
we've
office
had a
man
few
a right
deaths.
old crack. He spat it in my face and tried to carve me a new nipple.
Yeah. We've got a horse at the stables, and an ox, and they're used for various things. The horse is used for trading, pulling the trader's wagon, and the ox is used for moving stuff around, as we've seen in the other settlement. Let's check in at the market stall. Not many stalls here right now. The size that I built, I can have up to 15. Looks like we got 6 or 7. So even the trading's not going very well over here. Again, I did this totally wrong. Okay, the settlement level has increased over at Eichenau, our new settlement, which gives us a new development point, which we can spend up here. Current settlement level, small village, but we can spend this settlement point here in the perks. What I've chosen already is some passive boosts. So both of them food oriented. So a passive boost to meat production and a passive increase to berry production. And now we need something active here. Sheep aren't going to help us. They're just going to create more wool. Heavy plow might help because then we can use the oxen to plow the fields and produce more grain. And that is also kind of a passive upgrade as well. The beekeeping, that's more of an active upgrade because we're going to have to build the beekeeping hut, the apiary, and we're going to have to assign someone to take care of it. And that's not good. So let's just go with heavy plow, which will make our farming more efficient and hopefully keep people alive at the old settlement over here at Emmerith. Yeah, you guys are going to be hungry this winter. I apologize. Get ready to make more graves at the church. All right. In happier news, how's the settlement over here going? Whoops. Can't find it. I forgot where it was. There it is. Okay, so you guys are all set. We've got enough houses. No one's homeless anymore. This burgage plot will do, again, something food oriented. How about more? We're producing no hides over here at all, so maybe a goat shed. No, it's it. I'm not gonna. No, well, this is gonna be the resource production spot over here, allegedly. That's the woodcutters camp, felling trees over here, which is what we wanted them to do. We want to clear this place out for more settlement. All right, next, do we get up a market stall over here, or do we get, I think food-wise over here, we're still living off the bread that we brought with us, and some eggs that are coming from the chicken coops back here. These vegetables won't be ready for harvest for quite a while. Shoot, you know what? No. I'm going to say I should have made this vegetables as well. But now that it's being built, I don't think we can't cancel it and get the stuff back. We're just going to have to live with the fact that I've made a mistake here. Again. And instead of getting the marketplace set up, I think we need to focus on getting some berries coming in and some meat coming in from here. So let's see, where's going to be the best place to do that? I think we'll set up the hunting lodge over here. And then we'll make a road through the woods here. We just don't want the road to get too close to where the wildlife is. So let's do that first so we know where we're going to build. Let's get the road first. Right through here. Yeah, you don't want to build too close to the nature preserves because you'll scare off the wildlife. But this looks like a pretty good place to put down the hunting lodge, which is here, hunting camp. Yep, that looks good. We won't have to tear down any trees to do that. And then we'll get a forager's camp set up. That's close enough for them. Yeah, they can walk back into the woods from there, no problem. The problem is that once these two things get built, we will have no more unassigned families to do the work. which means we need to attract to do the construction work and the dragging stuff around town with the oxen. So that means we need to build another burgage plot to attract new settlers to come in. But this is where I messed up last time. I built too many burgage plots too quickly, and we couldn't feed them all. So,
Bring this here, move that there, on and on.
oh, do you hate your job? I'm sorry, sir. It's a job. It's what we need to do to survive. All right. I think I'm going to build one more burgage plot, kind of because I have to, because I've built those two other camps. And if we can get one more family to move in, then we can kind of chill out on the burgage plot building.
We all know what that means.
That is not big enough? Apparently that is not big enough to have a house there, so I'm going to have to do this differently. We'll do it this way. Nope. That is not big enough either. Are you sure? Well, this forester's or woodcutter's lodge is not going to stay there forever. We're just situating it here to clean out these trees. So maybe we'll build over here for now. That should do. Let's see if that's big enough. Well, that's big enough for a house, but no backyard. So a little bit more. There we go. Good. All right. Okay, and then we'll be growing more vegetables in that backyard as well. Because, you know, eggs you might get every single day, but the vegetables only come in maybe twice or 3 times a year. And we've still got 2 unassigned families doing the construction work. So the hunter's camp and the forager's camp should go up relatively quickly. Not up yet, but they're working on it. Oh, look how beautiful. The little flowers and the weeds coming up and stuff. All right, hunting camp's good to go, but I'm not going to assign anyone to it just yet. Let's get the other construction going. You guys go back and build the foragers camp. They'll probably do the foragers camp next. So you got a place for hanging up the carcasses, gutting and skinning them, and then a place for working the hides over here, a table. I'm going to stay down here by the ground and pretend we're a villager. Ah, this road didn't turn out great. Still got a lot of undergrowth on the road. Once we start building and clearing out the trees, it'll be a little bit easier to get through there. Are you guys going to work on the foragers camp now? Let's see if they've got everything they need. They're certainly headed in the right direction. The foragers hut only needed 1 timber for building, and it's got the timber, so they should get right to work. And you know, if I wanted to play this like a straight up city builder, I would be speeding up time right now, but man, I do not want to. I enjoy this part too much. Just watching them do their jobs. Plus, I'm kind of proud of our little settlement in the background there. It looks pretty nice, kind of pulled together. With the granary, the storehouse, the woodcutter's lodge, the loggers camp, and all the homes. Pretty good. Just need a market. That'll be next.
Gotta smooth that beam over there.
And you don't have to assign people to work at the market. As I mentioned, family members assigned to any particular task will work at the market. So, you know, the man in the family may be out doing the logging while the woman in the family or the children work in the marketplace. Good job, guys. Nice forager's hut. I guess they're not too worried about winter. It looks a little bit drafty. Oh no, this is where they'll probably put the stuff to keep it dry up here. The stuff they bring in, the berries and the herbs. And let's just get this last home built before I start assigning these two families to the to the uh, to the other things. Now, if you look up here, our approval is low, um, because, well, first of all, because people were homeless, they're no longer. It goes by every 30 days. So right now, there's no one homeless, but there's the reputation, the memory of homelessness. Word spread that people were homeless in this town, and now it's going to take a month before word spreads that everyone has a beautiful little burgage plot.
Come along, lad.
And that's another cool thing. Nothing in this game happens instantaneously. It all takes time. So you order an ox from the livestock trader, it doesn't just appear overnight. It may be a few days, a week, even a month before, nah, not a month, but it'll be a while before you, if you were looking out for it, there'd be a guy pulling an ox coming in from off map, and he would walk all the way down the road to the livestock trader and drop the ox off there and then turn around and walk all the way back. Very cool. Same for the sheep. So I built the sheep farm in the other town. We can look at that while they're doing this. Let's see. Hit T to go to the other town. Okay. So I built the sheep farm and I ordered I built the sheep farm and I ordered the sheep from the livestock trader, and then I'm like checking the roads every once in a while. I'm like, when am I going to see that dude with the sheep coming in with my first sheep? And it was such a moment of elation when I was just looking around at something else and I saw that. I was like, what's that white dot there on the road? Is that a sheep? I zoom all the way in. Yup, it's the dude bringing the first sheep. And he came to the livestock trading post and he dropped it off there, and then the farmer came and he grabbed the sheep, and the sheep came over here with him and he put him in the pasture, and then it's been there happily producing wool ever since. Very intricate, very immersive, and beautiful. Look at that. Look out past the farm plot here, past the sheep farm. You can see all the way off into the distance, and it's gorgeous. Oh, did I spook you, sheepy? Why did you run like that? Oh, they're all spooking each other. All these traders. Now, these traders, hopefully, are bringing food for the settlement. Yes, because that's basically the only way I'm feeding these people right now is by importing food. Because I grew too fast and wasted it all. And this field is at 85% growth, up from, what was it the last time we checked? 75. So growing slowly but surely. And then we've got another field doing wheat down here. This is growing even slower. Well, no, it's actually growing pretty well at 54% fertility. So that will definitely have 2 wheat harvests before winter, which should keep them alive through the winter. Yes, they'll only be eating bread, no vegetables, no eggs, no meat, except for what I can import. Because I messed this up. Still, even a broken settlement is fun to look at. No, the windmill is not operating right now because we have no grain to grind. We're going to have to wait until these 2 harvests come in. This is our well. I've actually got 2. Oh, we've got no well in the other town. Shoot. All right, well, that'll help build our approval. Just to build a well there. So let's get that done. Whoa, zoomed way the heck out. Yeah, you zoom all the way out, and this is where you can initiate diplomacy and figure out where the outlaws are by clicking on them. And you want to send groups out to fight bandit camps that appear as soon as they appear, as soon as you have enough men, militia, to make it feasible. Because that's how you gain experience, that's how you gain points, influence that can be spent doing other stuff like exerting claims over other regions. All right, so we were going to get a well built. Shoot, I can't believe this wasn't one of the first things I built because I may have built houses on our water sources, which is, it's not the end of the world, but it will limit where we can put the water well. And that, the water well is under where? Water, 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 water. Sorry, I'm still figuring all this stuff out. Not there, not there. Trading post, not in industry. Not in farming, residential, corpse pit, marketplace, well. Okay, good. Oh, okay, good. Perfect. I've got room right here in the middle of town for our first well. Whew. And that is actually going to raise the approval set number here quite a bit. If we click on the Burgage plot, we can see what these people are missing, which is why the approval is so low here. They're missing water access. They're missing a church. We're miles away from building a church here. And then we got to get a marketplace set up for fuel supply, food supply, and clothing stall supply. We're not going to have any of that stuff for quite a while. Well, we won't have clothing for quite a while. Fuel and food we could have as soon as we get the market up. And that's probably what we'll do next. In fact, let's check. Oh, we got plenty of timber here. Okay, so we can now build a marketplace, which is not under farming. Logistics. Granary. Pack station. No. Woodcutter. Saw pit. Forester's hut. Charcoal kiln. Man, I gotta get a charcoal kiln built up in the other town. Ugh. Hunting camp. Where's the market? It's not a market. There's granary, storehouse, pack station, hunting post. Well, marketplace. This looks like a good spot for a marketplace right here in the middle of town, and we can expand it later if we have to. But yeah, right across from the hitching post, this seems good. We'll make it relatively large in anticipation of doing a lot of trading. Whoa! I just did something wrong there. Sorry, my thumb slipped and I hit the wrong button. Make it relatively large, but leave a little bit of room on the side if we can for a road to go through here so we don't cut off that back area too much. That will have room for 12. That's only 12 stall locations. Let's see if we can make it a tiny bit bigger without cutting off a potential road here. 15? 15's good. 15. 16, even better. Okay. Getting the well up and running, important. Glad I remembered to do that before we totally clogged up this central area of town and people had to walk a mile to get their fresh water. Els, getting some water. You're welcome for the well, guys. Els. She's probably taking this over to water her goats. Or maybe bringing it inside. Yep, inside. Hey, goats. Nope. Hey, let me look at the goats. You are some handsome goats.
Bring that piece over here.
No, you bring that piece over here. What beautiful goats you are. What a relaxing game this is. I mean, I feel myself relaxing when I play this game. Just, and until it gets stressful, in which point it becomes very stressful because you're so invested in these people's lives. All right, good. Marketplace is built. And marketplace is not built. Oh, yes. Someone has put up our first stall, the firewood stall. And then one family member from the woodcutters camp will come over and man this stall. And people won't have to go to the woodcutters camp to get their firewood, which isn't that big a deal. This is probably actually farther away from most people's homes than the woodcutter camp is, but that woodcutter camp is transitory. We'll keep moving it around to take advantage of tree growth and cut down trees in areas that we want to clear for other reasons. I would say that I'm sorry that we're probably not going to see any military action in this episode, but we've cleared out most of all of the bandit camps around here, basically, until another one springs up. And this camp is, or this settlement is very, very vulnerable with no militia here at all. So we would rely on the first settlement's militia to come to our raid if we did need saving. Saving finished. Ha ha ha. Chicken on our woodcutter. The thing I like about the woodcutters camp is that they also clear out the smaller trees, which the logging camp won't touch, but the woodcutters camp will cut them for kindling. So you get a nice pasturey area around the woodcutters lodge. Good for pasturing, which is what I did when I was building the sheep farm. There used to be trees at the sheep farm. I set up the woodcutters camp there. He cleared out all the wood and kindling for me. And I was able to allow sheep to graze there. You know, in terms of the combat, if you've seen Total War, you've seen the combat. You know, you set your guys up in formations, and melee in front and ranged in the rear. The archers shoot a few volleys at the enemies as they approach, and then stop when they get within melee range. And then you can set your groups to your formations to different things. Stand your ground, fall back a little bit, giving ground to lure them into an attack on their front flanks. You can have them rush the enemy and attack, all sorts of stuff. But, nothing super innovative in terms of the combat there. This is the innovative part, this getting right down with your people and living their lives with them. And you become so invested in their lives. Like Anna, one of our original settlers. We have 6 homes, but we have not yet attracted a 6th family to live here because we've only recently gotten water access. And we still have no church. Let's just click and see. So now we have water access checked off. Church level, that's still a ways away. Fuel stall supply, that should be checked, but I think it's just taken a little bit of time for us to stock it because people are able to get their firewood so close right now. That won't always be the case, but they are bringing firewood to the stall. So that checkbox should be filled soon. They're also bringing food for the food stall. So that will happen eventually. And we're not going to speed things up to make them look silly, running around, walking super fast. It is June already. I'll bet, back at our original settlement, these farms are, if they haven't been harvested already, I'll bet they're almost ready. Oops, this one. Oh, okay, good. It looks like, I believe this, I think this field has already been harvested and replanted while we were over in the other part of town. This one as well, but this one is almost ready to harvest. No, this one hasn't been harvested yet because the soil here is not very fertile because we haven't let it lie fallow long enough. We let it lie fallow. Oh no, this is the first year for this place. Okay, anyway. This one is this is probably the second harvest for this year as well. I think this field was in the process of growing, but we may have some grain to grind in the mill now. Let me see. It would be in one of these farmhouses for now. No, no one has harvested the grain yet. No. Oh boy, it's gonna be a hungry winter for these folks, my friends. You're all gonna be living on bread and water. No milk, no eggs, no meat. Yikes. But the one that's almost ready to harvest is really almost ready to harvest. That is at 92% growth. So very soon that will be ready to harvest. And then these other two that are also growing wheat should be harvestable before winter comes. Maybe not. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Well, good luck, guys. let's go over to the settlement that's a little less stressful if I can find it. I'm still learning where these settlements are. Okay, good. Let's go over to the settlement that's a little less depressing. You guys are not facing imminent starvation. And this is where we will leave it for this episode here at the more encouraging, optimistic settlement. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, survivors.